Yeah. Well, I think for me personally, my journey on Substack started with looking for an outlet where I could sort of keep myself accountable to addiction, and then also try to bring others along on the journey. So I think addiction is something that it took me a long time to accept that I might, be under the influence of. So it all started
Mhm.
with cannabis addiction. Um, so January of 2022, I kind of came to terms with that. I stopped smoking weed and I decided I wanted to chart that journey because it kind of felt like not many people were talking about it. So that's when I first started Substack, writing almost every day, kind of as like a therapy, just to put something out there. Um, and then I ended up also quitting alcohol about a year later. And then the
Mhm.
Substack kind of turned into this general, therapy outlet, like pseudo AA, just to keep myself accountable and to try to talk about, the uncomfortable realities of existing and like the underlying causes of addiction from my perspective.
Yeah, yeah. So were you familiar with addiction before you turned it in on yourself? Were you around addicts? Did you know the language of addiction already?
Generally, I knew that my dad is also an alcoholic, and so he did not drink for about 30 years. He still hasn't drank for about 30 years. So I grew up uh with that kind of like coloring the edges of my existence. And then I think in college when, I first started developing some relationship with, mind altering substances, um, you understand that addiction, people say it's hereditary and there's probably an increased likelihood of, addictive tendencies, but you sort of push it off and you don't really think that it could be you. Um, but then eventually, I accepted reality. Um, so, so generally familiar.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my language, I'm a recovering addict. So I'm always
Mm,
interested in meeting other people
mhm,
and talking about it. But my experience is not, I would never say that it was addiction was hereditary, but I would say
mm,
that when you are around addicts or that you're the child of an addict or you grow up with addicts, what you're imbibing is intergenerational trauma
mm,
and substance or gambling, whatever it is, but addiction, that's a kind of answer to how do I live with this pain, isn't
mhm,
it? I
mhm,
I, I always think, I mean, because I'm a recovering addict, I have a very compassionate stance towards addicts and around addiction. Because in my experience, for a certain amount of time, it's a brilliant answer. It's how do I live? How do I live with this pain? And
mhm.
it's like it's a brilliant answer until obviously it becomes self-defeating,
Yeah. No,
right?
absolutely. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
And that's the moment I think when each of us makes the decision to either, go deeper into it, which is it's either dead, hospital or prison generally, or
mm,
sobriety.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Well, and I think, it's interesting, like, throughout the addiction journey, the difference between sort of like or not the difference, but how everyone, even if they wouldn't identify as addicts, kind of form some sort of compulsive relationship with something, like be it social media, maybe it's gambling, maybe it's like television. And I do think there's fundamental pain associated with the human condition, and everyone's trying to find outlets to numb. And some are
Yeah.
probably better at doing it in a socially acceptable manner.
I mean, as we both know, alcohol is a very socially acceptable way to numb. Let's be frank.
Too
It
socially
really,
acceptable. Yeah.
it super is, and that's why it makes. And I think food as well is a very socially
Hmm.
acceptable way to numb, and probably shopping is a very socially acceptable way to numb.
Yep.
But people, I was interviewed by someone the other day, and they were asking about addiction, and I've been very open about my substance use and all that kind of stuff, and they were like, "Well,
Mhm.
what were you addicted to?" And it wasn't all the things I used. I used lots of things. I used alcohol, I used crystal meth, I used needles, I used coke. I just, you name it, I used it,
Mhm.
of the kind of drug substance stuff. But actually, the thing, I was able to give them up on a dime. Once I realized, I was like, I could give them up on a dime. But the thing I think I'm really like, because you put out fires, don't you? Like you put out all the substances, and those are like little fires, and then you get down to the bedrock. And actually, the thing that I'm curious in myself right now is like, okay, my addiction to being treated really badly by men.
Mm.
That's an addiction because
Yeah.
if I look at my history, it's just like I've chosen one man after the other who has fulfilled the brief. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So then it's like digging down because that's like I wasn't an alcoholic. I
Mm.
wouldn't even say I was a drug addict. I had a really healthy drug habit, you know what I mean? But I gave it up on a dime, right? Because it was like, okay. And then the journey really began. When you get that kind of
Mhm.
sober clarity,
Mhm.
that's the really fascinating bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I found like it was an
No,
upgrade.
I completely agree. I'm kind of in that place right now. So I think of my addiction journey as I'm in year 4, like totally, but year 3 with alcohol. And I think that's when a lot of the introspection started. And I totally
Yeah.
agree because I didn't really go to like AA and it wasn't necessarily difficult to stop um, drinking. But I totally agree. Now it's like, what are the patterns that are still present in my life that are destructive that I'm responsible for? Because now I can't blame
Yeah.
a substance. It's
Right.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. And we will get on to Ask My Stack in a minute, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I know because that was the really bit was like suddenly, okay, as a sober person, I have to be with myself all the time.
Yep.
So we better establish a working relationship or this is gonna go
Yeah.
horribly wrong,
Mhm.
you
And
know?
it's hard. It's
Yeah.
harder
It's
than you would
hard.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard, but also thrilling. I mean, I
Mhm.
find, and I'm now like I wouldn't call myself I'm not sober in the AA sense now. Now, because I was like 5 years totally strict, 100% sober. And
Mhm.
now occasionally, like, I'll have mushrooms or I'll have a glass of red wine with a foot, but very, very rare. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like,
Mhm.
I think it's what's called Californian sober.
Mhm.
But the whole experience has been an upgrade without any
Mm.
doubt. It's been
Mhm.
much more like I was saying the other day to a friend, like me and alcohol, we had a great time for like 30 years, but we came to the end of our relationship.
Yep.
Like there was nothing I didn't know. It couldn't
Mhm.
take me anywhere I hadn't been before, and it just got boring,
Mhm.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So, okay, ask my stack. Give us the give us a what it is. What is it?
Sure. So it's a tool that lets Substack writers animate their archives and effectively create like a personalized archivist for all your work. It was born out of my personal frustration. So, like I said, I started writing when my addiction journey was starting. Since then, I've published, I think, over like 430 posts. Something I did the calculation recently, like 1,300 pages worth of stuff. And what would really frustrate me is as I would reflect on my life and my writing, not having an ability to take all that information and discern some truth from it or understand patterns, or just learn more about myself. Um,
Mm,
so given recent, advances in technology, we had the opportunity to try to build something like this. Um,
mm.
so that's the goal. You upload all of your posts, and then within a few minutes, we turn it into a conversational interface that you can, interact with and have your audience interact with to help understand either what authors would think about certain topics or to help, give your audience um, like a more effective kind of entryway into your work.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I found, so I've been trialing it for you, obviously, and I feel
Thank
like I
you.
haven't done enough, actually, no, it's a complete pleasure, but I always feel like I must add Ask My Stack button to everything,
Mhm.
because I think that's one of the things is like that repetition of you can go into my archive and you can wonder about so it really from the people who have gone into my archive and the kind of questions they've been asking, it seems like, yeah, they can navigate their way through
Mhm.
using a series of questions.
Mhm.
So you give prompt questions, don't you? But you can that's one of the things I wanna go back into my own and figure out which are the best default questions to
Mhm.
give readers to get them in. So what have you found for yours?
That's a good question. I think one of the beauties is that I've built it to be very custom to whatever experience that you wanna offer your audience, and so I think, from, like, the color to, the custom prompts, um, I understand how important people's Substacks often are to identity and to their work, and so
Yeah.
I tried to be as, like, non-prescriptive in what we would do. But to give you, concrete examples, I think what you've done a great job of is trying to help it guide people to relevant works and specific works that you want to highlight. So, like, what post should I start with? I think are good. We have another user that writes about economic issues within America. And they have sort of preset some questions with what's the current state of homelessness in America, et cetera. So it's really intended to be an instrument of your will and an extension of, the identity of the archive. So I don't know if that's a good answer, but that is kind of the current state.
And it's definitely in its early stages, right? Like
Yes.
when did you have the idea? When did you first start building it?
So I will say, so my academic background's in statistics. My favorite class in school was text analysis, where
Mm.
you realize just how much information is kind of buried within text. Uh, And so I've always been wondering, I have all this information that I've written on Substack. How can we like turn that into something more actionable? So it really started as I wanted to see if I could chart like my emotional journey through addiction recovery, um,
Mm.
based on like the emotional composition of the words that I was writing. And so I did do that, and it's actually interesting. You can kind of see like up and down over time. And then from there, I thought, is there an opportunity to create a more general tool here to help people interact with like work? So I first built it, I would say, starting in February. I think we had the live version around mid-February-ish. It took me about, like, 3 weeks to get the first version up, and then from there, we've been iterating. It has been slow, I will say there's a ton of challenges. It's hard to figure out, whether it is a better front door to your work for new audience members or whether it's, like, a companion for existing audience members. I've been trying to figure that out, and I honestly don't know. I mean, you probably have a better idea than I do, but that's where it started. So about, like, the idea's been percolating for years probably, but, within the last, 3 months, I would say we've really put it out there.
Um, and of those two options, what do you want it to be when you think about it?
I
Do
wanted to
you want it to be go on.
Yeah. Well, I would love for it to be a companion because I think,
Mm.
like, y r audience members, and I don't have a large audience, but I'm kind of my only audience member, but, like,
It's the
you
best
want
way to
your
start.
audience Yeah. But you want your audience to form really deep relationships with you, and
Yeah.
so when I was creating this, my ideal use case in my mind was I absolutely love what Eleanor writes about. I love all of her work. She's become such an important influence in my life and how I think about, addiction and et cetera, et cetera. I'm dealing with this thing right now, like, what would Eleanor think? And then you could come to the archive and say, "I'm struggling with this in my life, like, what should I do?" And then it would root the
Mhm.
response in your work. So it's not necessarily, like, speaking on your behalf, but it's meant to basically say, "Based on what Eleanor's written, here's what we think she would recommend that you do." Um, and so, like, that's what I was hoping it would be and still hope it would be. Uh, I just haven't gotten there yet. But that's kind of that would be my dream because at the same time, and I've been very open about this, the authors can see what their audience is writing, and so the audience chooses to share their name or remain anonymous, and then the author has access to the questions that the audience is asking. Um, and so the goal is that for you also as a writer, you're able to see what your audience is interested in, and try to figure out if that helps you, orient the work or figure out what topics you might be able to expand into. Um, so I was really wanting it to be, and still am, like a tool that forges deeper relationships with audience members and Substack writers.
Yeah, I mean, that's really beautiful. That's certainly like I know when I really love a writer, and I've done this with like literally not on Substack, but like in my kind of like reading voice since I was a kid. There'd be one writer, and I would just read everything of theirs,
Mhm.
like Graham Greene or Virginia Woolf or whatever it is. So to translate that over to Substack, because I mean, Substack is so massive, which is kind of brilliant and also complicated.
Mhm.
So to nurture. I find I do this. There's only really a handful of writers that I will absolutely religiously read every single time they put something out,
Mm.
and want to know more about them. But I really love the idea. I love the idea of companion, because
Mhm.
Substack is about relationships, and it would forge those relationships.
Mhm.
Um, on the other hand, I know that there are some, like, to have the option to see what your readers want to know and to move in that direction. I'm not that writer, but I think there are writers out there who want to meet the demand or meet the taste of their
Mhm.
readers.
Mhm.
So I think that would be an interesting function to it. I mean, it seems to me the way it's operating right now is that it can sort of go in any direction. Like, it can be I think the readers who've come to mind have come, I think they're new to me. I get the
Mm.
impression that a lot of them are new, and they've been like, "Oh, because I've been," um, periodically, I will just put it on notes, "Ask my stack, ask my stack, ask my stack." And so then I think quite a lot of people just go in and go, "What's that?" And
Mhm.
they go
Mhm.
in and they have a little noodle about, and then they
Mhm.
come back out again.
Yeah.
Um, which is beautiful. But I know one of the things I haven't done, and time is such a thing, isn't it? But what would be interesting for me is if I made it a regular check-in to go into Ask My Stack, see what people are looking for, and just again forge those relationships. I don't
Yep.
know. It's so wide ranging. Was that something you were aware that it would be so wide ranging in its application?
I that is a good question. I come from kind of like the technology world in general, and this is my first time kind of building something for myself. I'm not sure that I
Yeah.
really had thought through much of this stuff. And I don't mean that in like a naive way. I wasn't sure if anyone would even be willing to use it. And so like honestly,
Right.
like one of like you're I think you're the first one of the first users in like our emailing and you asking for like just asking how it worked. Like that was incredible. So I think the way I think about it philosophically is that the features kind of expand as a result of what the users are asking for.
Yeah.
I think it's at a place right now where there hasn't been sufficient activity to warrant like a strong I'm planting my flag in this camp. And that's something I'm struggling with. I'm trying to kind of figure out how to crack it. But I think I I think I did know that it could be expansive, but at the same time, it's all your archive. Like the core
Yeah.
idea I think is very simple, which is that you've written, tens, if not hundreds of posts, that that data, that information, and that knowledge is just sitting there. And so there's a million ways you can animate that and create it more interactive for yourself and for others for all sorts of different purposes. But what like really the frustration is just the static pages. Like I would think about just like if I had to go find a post that I wrote from 2023 or whatever, and you can search and it's not that hard and yada yada, but, like, sometimes my naming is annoying on Substack and, like, it just was not very intuitive to say, "What did I think about this on Valentine's Day in 2023?" And now within a second, I can ask that, and we get
Yeah.
you get answers, and so I don't know where it's gonna go, but I was so frustrated that I had all this writing that was just sitting there, and I knew there had to be a better way.
I mean, I do think it's a brilliant idea, and I think people watching live and people who are watching this and record and who've played around with it, I think that all of us on Substack, every single one of us, shares that feeling that we've got this vast archive that's completely hidden
Mhm.
and that nobody really goes in. And because there's such a wealth of stuff to read on Substack, we're all just reading today. And even actually, a lot of us feel like, I mean, I don't, because it's a kind of spurious, like, construct, but how to keep up. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, how to
Yeah.
keep up? Actually, there's nothing to keep up with. You just like, you go in and you go out. But yeah, I think all of us, we all have these vast archives that
Mhm.
are, yeah, they're hidden, they're vanished, and nobody's going in them. And so this idea, that's what attracted me immediately when you emailed me. And I was like, that's a brilliant idea.
Mm.
Like, we can go in and I can go in, yeah, and find stuff that I think I've just got a vague memory of writing about, I don't know, donkeys or acid,
Hmm.
whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I can
Yeah, yeah.
go in and I can find it.
Hmm.
Um, and I think so. What's the bit that's frustrating you? Like how to crack it in terms of numbers or in terms of the actual build? What's the bit that's frustrating?
It's a good question. I think usage a little bit. I mean, you're one of the early and few users, to be totally honest. But I think users come with time. What's
Mm,
uh, I think it comes back to kind of the companion goal, or really like repeat use. If for this to be valuable to you long term, I think you need repeated interactions.
yeah.
Because if from your audience or new readers are you if they're not using it, then what's the point? And so it's very difficult within like the confines of Substack's website to figure out how to embed it in like in a
Yeah.
compelling way. And I know you've done a great job with buttons and trying to call it out, which has been amazing. I just don't know. I played around with the idea of is there a way to actually like embed it into the site or something, and nothing there has worked. I mean, I would love to talk to Substack.
Hamish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hamish.
Uh,
But right, because the thing, what I would really love of all the buttons when you're making a post and you can, I would love a button that just said "Ask my stack" and you just press it and it appears on every single post like
yeah.
that, because that would then suddenly drive
Hmm.
eyes and use and everything.
Hmm.
And that's the frustrating thing for me is that, we're all doing a million things. And sometimes I'll post something, I'll be like, shit, I didn't put the What's My Stack button on.
Yeah.
And so, because it's just another thing that I have to remember to do the thing. So I
Mhm.
would really love it. Have you spoken to anyone at Substack?
No, I haven't. I mean, I would love to. They could. That's where it gets a little dangerous. They could realistically probably build this themselves, which honestly, more
Yeah.
power to them.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't spoken with anyone there. Um, I love the platform. Like, I've been writing on it
Yeah.
for a long time. But I do think that this is an example of an opportunity where it feels like it's right there.
Yeah, it does. It feels obvious. That's why I know it's a good idea, because
Yeah.
it was like, why has no one thought of that before? That's brilliant. That's like,
Hmm.
okay, how do we get us like guide you into your archive? Because there it
Yep.
is, and we've all got one, and it's invisible to all of us. So
Yep.
I think the idea is totally solid. It's a brilliant idea.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really get that the frustration is, yeah, how do you crack it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Without
Well,
it
and then
becoming part of the build of Substack itself, like integral to Substack.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is hard, and I mean, if you were a Substack, then you could imagine, like, a whole kind of conversational world where, uh, for readers, you have, like, the archives that you subscribe to, and then you could, like, theoretically ask questions across all your archives or across all the subscriptions, or something.
Yeah.
Like, what I am I able to say what I honestly think it is?
Totally.
Um, Uh, technically, I'm using, AI, and by technically, I'm being a little bit, uh, like, careful, but I'm using, like, large language models. It's entirely rooted within your archive, so it's not, like, pulling from the internet or doing anything. Um, I think Substack does not wanna introduce any AI features because I think that would, upset the writer community. That's my guess.
Hang on, just explain that to me. I Because I assumed, yeah, that's what was
Yeah.
happening. But why is that sticky? Maybe I'm because I'm not like totally technically minded. Just explain that.
Mhm. So, maybe an example. So my dad's a musician,
Yeah.
and I've created AI generated songs, and I know I've showed them to him, and he's been a little like iffy. I think there's a general sense within the creative, literary community that artificial intelligence represents like it's coming
Oh
for
no,
jobs.
I
Yeah,
understand that bit. I mean, you're using AI in Ask My Stack.
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, so basically, so we're using AI technologies. You upload your information to us, and then when a reader asks a question, um, we sort of like apply some of the AI technology with your archive to provide the answers. So
Yeah,
that's
that
how it
I
goes through it.
assumed.
I
Yeah.
think if Substack uh, ex- offered like an explicitly AI tool like this, I think there would be blowback, and that I think writers would
Oh.
basically say Substack is turning their back on the writing community by leaning into AI. So I think they can't be seen as being openly pro AI.
So okay. So
That's just me guessing.
no, no, no. But so would one of the possible like red flags for them, and this is me guessing, is that if you're using an AI tool to go through my archive and if somebody says, "What's Eleanor think about light bulbs?"
Hmm.
and they put that into my Ask My Stack, and then your AI model goes in and finds anything.
Hmm.
So would the fear be that that there's an AI in going in through my work and in some way scanning or learning, or that's the kind of, it's just like there's a what's the word I'm looking for, there's an interaction there with AI that could feel a bit like, whoa, don't touch my work.
Hmm. I think that absolutely, and I think it's mostly like social and cultural. Where uh, my guess is that folks who make a living through the written word feel threatened by a technology that can create like infinite words, and it's generally speaking, I think, still nowhere near as good as human output. But for a company that is completely focused on the creator, to offer a tool that is animated by artificial intelligence, I think that there would be like a pushback from the community. Like, I could see people leaving the platform, or something
Right,
like
but
that.
okay, but isn't aren't you using AI for precisely what it was developed for, which is just to be like this super fast little robot pulling like
Yeah,
perplexity?
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
on your side. Yeah, we're on the same side. Uh,
Okay. Okay, so it's just the emotional but surely AI is used in Substack somewhere. It must be. Like no?
Absolutely.
In
Well, I'm
the it
sure that,
must
like, the
be.
recommendation, algorithms are probably AI. It's embedded within
Yeah.
everything that we do, but I think we're at a point in terms of just, like, the cultural awareness and, like, just the it's never been more polarizing, and so I think for such a pro kind of, like, independent writer platform, my guess is they are fearful of the optics. But I think the
Right, so it's just
technology
an
is.
emotional response.
Yep.
It's not based in any kind of like rationale. You predict an emotional response to it because of the
Yes.
optics.
Yep.
Okay, I understand now.
I think
Okay.
that's what Substack is thinking, that they would lose writers if they offered an expressly AI-based feature. That's what I think. I'm just guessing.
S Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think they'd respond like that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, I don't,
Mm.
because I in in my world, I just had to really be sure you were saying what I thought you were saying. That is
Mhm.
literally what AI does. That's what it's supposed to be used for.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, it's not, so even though you get a kind of knee-jerk optics,
Mhm.
I think I think we're all intelligent enough to know, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that
Yeah.
doesn't freak
Yep.
me out at all. That if an AI generated Substack was being recommended in my algorithm, posing as something else, yeah, I'd have a major problem with that.
Yeah.
Or if Substack was promoting in some way, I don't know,
Mhm.
because it's like, yeah, Substack is for real living human writers,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I mean, I've got really like AI doesn't give me hives at all. I'm okay with it. I just know that often humans, humans can use a carrot to ill ends. Do you know what I mean? They can use anything
Yeah.
if they just put their fucking minds to it. So I don't have a problem with AI at all, but I can see like the mind sweeping that it has
Yeah.
done, and the job. I get all of the arguments, but I don't.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm totally naive, but I don't think Substack would respond.
Mhm.
I don't think that. No, I don't think so. With the
Yeah.
optic, I don't think so.
Well, what I
Mm.
really, I think what I'm probably, this is probably like insecurity making its way
Mm,
into the because I just can't. I don't know why they haven't done it. And
me
maybe
neither.
yeah.
So
And
obvious,
so
isn't
I
it?
know, I know, I know. And so then I'm like, are they like opposed to it? Is there like some issue? I mean, doing it across like millions of Substack writers is a totally different ballgame, but it's right there. And so
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But no, I agree with you.
when I wrote that note and I tagged in a load of Substack sort of head office, did nobody get in touch with you?
No, not that I
Crickets.
know of. Crickets.
Wow.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
is okay. I'm pro writer, and so like if they were to copy
Mhm.
this, that's totally fine.
Is it fine? Is it fine though?
It'd be a little sad, but
Yeah. Okay.
it would be okay. I think I would
Okay.
be okay. Um,
Would you? Okay.
yes, I would be okay. Because I think I'm a frustrated user, and so if this compelled a company like Substack to offer something like this to people, anyone on the platform, then I think that would be a net positive.
Okay. That's very generous of you. Because it'd be a little bit annoying. Like you'd come up with this brilliant idea, and if you weren't credited in some way or paid for the IP, it
Mm,
would be a little bit rude, especially as now we're now live and there are
yeah.
42 people witnessing this. But I'm going to be in New York soon, and I may well see some of the head office. So if I do, I
Mm.
will definitely.
Mention it to
I'll
them.
ask. I'll totally ask some questions because it is so obvious. It would be so great. Like,
Mhm,
like if I wanted to get into anyone else's archive, or I'm thinking, I wonder. Also, it'd be like, I wonder if anybody's written about flowers growing in the dark,
mhm,
and you put that in, and then it kind of goes and finds all the Substacks that have written
mhm.
about flowers in the dark. That kind of like it,
It'd be
I
amazing.
guess it would be amazing. But I guess as well, as I said before, we're kind of drowning under a wealth of of brilliant writing on Substack, and it's
Mm,
ever growing, which I totally applaud because I think there's always room at the top. Like let's keep going. There's a million of us, and we can just you always find the people you love on Substack. I find, do you know what I mean?
mhm,
I
mhm.
wonder about and I find people. Um, but I think it is a string that's missing in their bow. And there'll be an answer to why haven't they done this already. I'm going to
Yeah,
try and get that answer for you, Luke.
great. Well, yeah, let me know what they say. I'd love to talk
I'll
to them.
totally let you know. So what other feedback have you had on it from other
Um,
users?
uh,
Anything specific?
Nothing specific. I think the main fear, is that some people are not comfortable with, the possibility of AI mischaracterizing their work. And so we've tried to be
Okay.
very cautious about that. So within the construction of the platform, it's supposed to only cite material that the author's written about, offer kind of hedging a little bit against like making bold statements about what the author would believe, and then pointing folks to relevant posts within the archive. But I think that's been a reasonable concern, where it is powerful, and so you don't want it to like make stuff up that you would not say. Um,
Yeah.
it's subject to like general AI hallucination too. Like sometimes we've done a much better job of protecting against that, but it will, it has access to anything that you've written, and so like it can find a specific word or a specific person you reference from like 4 years ago and bring that up in conversation. Uh, and so we had one user was concerned because the AskMyStack had mentioned, like, his wife and sister, and
Mm.
he forgot that he had written about them, but actually in a post in 2020, he, like, mentioned them once, as, like, an end of year, like, "I'm grateful for the support of," um, and so that was, a little bit of a struggle. So I think it's new, and there's
Okay.
always road bumps with the new technology, but for the most part, the folks who have used it have similar feedback to what you have, where it's a fun way for an audience to, explore the archive in a different, in like a more, seamless manner.
Mm.
But I just think we're scratching the surface. I feel good about the product for the most part, and my hardest challenge has been getting more users just to try it. And so that's where hopefully stuff like this helps.
Yep.
I've been thinking about like a referral program or something. I don't really, I need to put more time to it, honestly.
Mm.
But how have you liked it? What feedback do you have?
Well, I love the fact that people are using it and going in. Every time I put it on notes, somebody goes in
Hmm.
and has a look and has a look around, and they ask questions, and I see these conversations going on and stuff. So that's been really great and surprising and interesting. And I think those who've gone in have really enjoyed going in.
Hmm.
For my own part, I know that I could be getting more out of it if I spent more time on it, but time is of the essence, and I'm just like up to here. So that's one of the challenges that I think that you would face when rolling it out and trying to crack those numbers and getting more people to use it is just, you know, I for one don't need another thing like on my screen that requires my time. I'm always trying to
Yep.
cut that down. So that would be so that's nothing, that's not really feedback on the tool itself. It's more like if you said, "Why aren't you using it more?" That's the reason why, and that's probably quite a general. I think you'd probably meet that a lot.
Hmm.
Like, I'd love to, but I've only got so much time. So, and as I said, I would really love it if it was just a button that I could just press and it went in like that. And then
Yeah.
I would have it on every single one. But
Hmm.
just to go back to the AI, because I'm sure there are people listening who've got concerns around that. What are
Hmm.
the safeguards around that? Like if somebody said, how do I know it's not like IP sweeping and my work is going to turn up somewhere else and I'm not
Hmm.
going to get a credit? And what's the safeguarding for those who are
Uh,
worried about AI?
Yep. So the data is and always remains yours. So it's completely like we don't have any ownership or over the data. We don't use it for any like specific training purposes. We don't sell it. We don't license it. The data is secure on a US based server. Uh, and then in terms of the responses, this is where it takes a little bit of time, and there's some uh, like training over time. But we basically instruct the system to never kind of suppose, not to go beyond the actual work of the author. Um,
Mm.
so we're really trying to get to a point where if someone asks about something you've never written about, the response would be, Eleanor's never written about this. That's where it's hard because each writer I think has different comfortability levels with like, yeah, this thing can say whatever it wants about my work or like whatever. And then some people are on the other side of the spectrum where it's I only want it to give posts and say nothing else. And it's challenging to get that level of personalization, but it's possible.
Right.
So I think those are the safeguards. I mean, really, we're using Tame, I'll say, like a pretty standard approach. And so the data is safe. It won't like I think there's low risk of like harmful responses. And we've structured it so that it really relies on the author's work. It cites posts as frequently as possible. And it doesn't, exaggerate or kind of extrapolate.
And just to be clear for those watching, so when somebody goes in and they ask a question and then it will take you directly to that post, doesn't it? It
Mhm.
links you straight in. So it's
Yep.
super easy to use. And then if a writer they're on AskMyStack, then they decide I don't like it anymore. They cancel their account.
Mhm.
Are they clean out? Can you just give some reassurance about that?
Yeah, we'll delete everything, all data that's ever, submitted to us, we'll wipe it out. Yeah, because the other thing that we typically collect subscribers as well because, if you want to gate Ask My Stack to your only to subscribers only, we wanna offer that, capability, and
Oh,
because
okay.
so the easiest way so I think you went through this path, we have it built so that the stock, when you go to settings on Substack, you can go somewhere and you can say export my archive. When you
Yeah.
say X download my archive, you get a zip file. All
Yeah.
you have to do is take that zip file, put it on our platform, and then you're set. Within that
Yeah.
zip file, we have the post information, the actual body of the posts, and then subscriber information. subscriber information allows us to accurately do our tiered pricing based on your subscribers and to gatekeep um, the Ask My Stack experience to subscribers only if you wanted that. Um, some people are not comfortable with giving like their subscriber information. We don't do anything
Yeah.
with it, but I understand the concern. But yeah, so if you want to try it out, it's a 2 week free trial. Then you say this is not worth it. I'm going to delete it. We'll wipe everything and have no record of subscribers, posts, anything like that. I completely understand how sensitive this information can be for a lot of people. I feel like the emotional connection with my body of work. I think if there was ever if there was anything that, would run the risk of jeopardizing that work, I totally understand. And like the
Mhm.
last thing I would want is to subject writers to any type of risk around data security, data privacy, or anything like that.
And likewise, the trust that's built up between us writers and all of our subscribers, which is also precious. So,
Hmm.
that risk wants to be absolutely mitigated and reassured against as well, which I'm content. I think, I understand how it works. What I didn't realize though is that I could have it that like only my paying subscribers can access Ask My Stack, or just my subscribers, or everybody.
Hmm.
Can you mess around with that?
Just subscribers, but that isn't like I haven't fully built that feature yet. Let me know if you want it. But yeah, just
Okay.
subscribers because then
Okay.
that's where it comes back to the conversation of is this a entryway for new people or is it a companion for existing? Because I didn't want to. Right now, you can't access that feature because I didn't want it. It started to turn into an entryway. I think based on the early conversations,
Okay.
and then I was like, okay, well, you don't want to restrict the entryway to new people. But for folks who want to, that's something that's like within the roadmap.
So currently only subscribers can Ask My Stack.
Currently, anyone can.
Anyone, that's what I thought. Anybody can. So it's
Yep.
still acting as a gateway. So at the moment it's still
Yes.
gateway, companion, hasn't
Hmm.
quite
Yes.
hasn't chosen the pony yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what we can
Okay.
do is restrict it to subscribers only, but we
If we
haven't
want.
done that yet.
But
Yes, if we
okay.
want.
Okay. And what would be the benefit of that?
Uh, I don't know.
Just to pick a pony, is it?
Yeah, well, and I thought maybe it could
Okay.
be increased added motivation for writers to try to get subscribers to like subscribe or like maybe to convert to paid or something like that. Um, I haven't totally. I don't. I'm still undecided on a lot of this. I'm looking to the writer community kind of to take direction. And so I don't. I'm not hugely. I don't have hard like this should happen, this shouldn't happen about a lot of this stuff. I think it's a cool tool that I'm very proud of, and I think however it best serves writers, relative to what writers want, like that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, that's really beautiful to hear. And well, personally, the last thing I want is yet another pressure on someone to become a subscriber because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
mhm,
let's all relax and take a breath here. You know what I mean? You don't have
mhm,
to have 10 million subscribers. You just
yeah,
need to write, and then those who will love you will find you. And
mhm,
so I'm really happy with it being for everybody.
yep.
But I
I
think there's
totally.
yeah, but there's no reason why Ask My Stack as a gateway into the archive of a writer couldn't then become, for that reader, a companion. I mean, it seems to me like it doesn't have to pick a pony. It can. It's not. Its use and benefit isn't diluted by being both those things. For
Hmm.
me, at the moment, anyway, that's how it feels.
Hmm. I
Um,
agree.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I would love it for. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's hard to sell to writers, like it is. I've tried reaching
yeah,
out to Substack folks. Like you said,
yeah,
time is precious.
yeah.
I'm still like I can't believe that you signed up. Like, I'm just
Oh, it was a pleasure. It was so nice to get your email. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to
oh,
try
that was
that.
like the
That looks
highlight of my
great.
month. And
That's
so
funny.
I just don't know how to keep how to get more people because it's out. I don't know. It's just selling anything is difficult. People,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. And even getting we're reasonably priced in my opinion. But even getting past like $20-$30 a month is tough, which I also understand. So it's hard. There's a lot to figure out. I don't have many answers.
that's okay. Do you talk to me about the tiered? Well, I've got two questions. Talk to me about the tiered pricing, and also, and this is a deeply personal question, but right now, as it stands, do you have to charge for it? Is this a part? Is this an integral part of your income? Which is not to say you shouldn't be paid for it, but I'm just talking about cracking the numbers.
Not at all. And so this is a kind of a passion project related to,
Okay.
just in the Substack, not an integral part of my income, thankfully, because then I would not be having much income.
Yeah.
And yes, I would love for it to. It's not. It's not principally financially motivated, but at the same time, it'd be great if it did well.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but so the
I
tiered
mean, you
system is.
deserve to be paid for it. I don't get me wrong. No, you totally do. You've done the work. You've built this brilliant thing. No one else thought of it. You've done it. You absolutely deserve to pay for it. But there's always that thing. Like I talk to this when people say shit like free subscribers, paying subscribers, and I'm like, well, do you want eyes on your work when they're just kicking off in their first year of Substack? If you want eyes on your work, just do it for free, man. Because otherwise, you're not going to get eyes. That's
Yeah.
how it works.
No, you're so right. Yeah, yeah. Well, and right now everyone gets a 2-week free subscription.
Okay.
Uh, and then the prices are either 10, 20, 30, or $40 a month based on number of subscribers. Uh,
Oh,
when you join, that locks your price. So if you join in like the $10 a month tier and then your Substack blows up, you'll still always pay $10 a month
forever.
forever. Yeah. Ad
Wow.
infinitum. Uh,
Okay.
that's how
So
it's
just
that's how I built it right now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I love that. So hang on. So can you give us the specific? $10 is how many subscribers? Can you
Up
give us the
to a
equation?
thousand.
Okay, so if you've got under 1,000 subscribers, it's $10 a month,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And then it goes up, what, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 in terms of subs, or
No,
how's it
then I think
rise?
it's 1,000 to 5,000 is
Okay.
20, 5,000 to
Yeah.
10,000 is 30, and then
Yeah.
10,000 plus is $40
Yeah. Yeah.
a month.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I love that pricing structure. So just to reiterate, everybody here now listening, you can go on Ask My Stack and you can try it for free for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
right? No commitment.
No commitment.
Okay. And then see, and presumably all of those people who are now going to immediately go and do that, you'd love to hear from them and get feedback.
Yeah, email me anytime. It was always fun when you would send me emails because the time difference. So I think I would get your emails like very, very late night my time or early morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I started kind of looking for that. But yeah,
Yeah.
email me. My email is Luke at askmystack.com. You can check out the website askmystack.com. It should be fairly straightforward to create an account there. We also recently started highlighting existing Ask My Stacks. So Eleanor, you're on there. So you can get a feel for the experience and see if it's something you might want to try. But yeah, 2 weeks, no commitment. Um, and if you have any feedback, any thoughts, any issues, I'm always available.
Okay, great. I can see people are saying, yes, very nice, brilliant, excellent, gonna do it. That's great. It's great because it is really good. And I think it's one of those things that like the more people do it, the more it's got that exponential growth to it, hasn't it? Like the more we do
Hmm.
it and the more and the more and more. And then suddenly, and there'll be a moment, I imagine, where Substack team will go, oh, hang on a minute, what's happening over there? Because it is such an obvious idea.
I hope so.
Um, I think so. I think it's a great idea. And also I wanted to say actually to those who are going to go and do their 2-week trial, I found the setup so easy and I am just like a tech idiot and I managed to do it really simple. So you've made it really, really simple. It's easy to do. And I think the thing I need to do more is just go and spend some time there and just, do a bit more and stuff like that. But I think
Mm.
it's a brilliant idea.
Well, thank you so much, and I
It's a
really can't
pleasure.
say how much your support has meant, and even, like, you really were one of the first users, and, uh, I didn't know if anyone was gonna try it, so I can't just, thank you enough for your support and for giving it a go.
It's a total pleasure. It's fun. I'm loving it. I'm just thinking, are you in New York?
No, I just moved back to Pittsburgh, which is my hometown,
Oh,
but I'm hoping to move to New York in
okay.
the fall. I would
Okay.
love to
Because I was
co
going
when
to
are
say,
you gonna be there?
well, I'm going to be there like the 30th of April through to the 4th of May. Like I'm there for like a heartbeat, but it's my launch. You want to come to my
Mm,
launch?
yeah, I would love to.
It'll be a room full of interesting people.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
All right. I will email you an invite to the launch. That'll be fun. Okay, good.
Amazing.
Okay, Luke. Is there anything why don't you just run through one more time? How do they find it? What's the address? Blah blah blah. Do
Mhm.
all the promote yourself.
Yep. So email or website is askmystack.com. Ask my stack. From there, you should see buttons on the top right that say sign up, log in. If you click sign up, it'll take you to a screen. It asks you to claim your URL. So everyone gets a custom URL, eleanor.askmystack.com, luke.askmystack.com, etc. Um, from there, you have to go to your Substack settings, download your archive. It's about 1 or 2 clicks. Once that's done, it can take about 5 minutes. Take that download, that zip file, put it right into Ask My Stack. It should be obvious where that goes. And then from about probably takes 2 to 5 minutes from there, we should have your archive up and running pretty much immediately. And then the last thing is, you don't get charged, but we do ask for card information upfront. Let me know if that's annoying because I spent a lot of time thinking what I should do there. Um, but once you put your card information in, then you can share it with anyone. You can use it and start to test out the platform. And if you have any issues, you can email me at Luke, Luke, at askmystack.com, and I will do my best to respond uh, as soon as possible.
Brilliant. And then if they want to DM you on Substack and ask
Mhm.
questions before they do their free trial, you are at Infinite Zest. Is that right?
Infinite Zest. Yes.
You got it. Okay.
Yep.
Or as we are live right now, I'm sure somebody can press a button and they will immediately be offered to subscribe to you. So you're there available for questions, any doubts, any things before they sign up. But I think
Mhm.
as I said, I think it's brilliant. So I'll just do everything I can to it's the visibility, isn't it? Because once it reaches
Yeah.
a certain size and then everybody's doing it and then it just becomes part of Substack, which will
Yeah.
be super great.
That'd be
And you get the
amazing.
credit. That's what we want. Okay. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, Luke. Brilliant. Well, I'll see you in New York. I'll send you an invite and great to see you.
Sounds
We'll be in
amazing. Thank you
touch.
so much for having me.
Okay. It's completely my pleasure. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Eleanor.
Bye. Thanks everyone for coming. Bye.